I've used YouTube in every business that I've been a part of, and it just keeps becoming a more and more effective, not only marketing tool, but more effective tool for getting found online for free. Because it is now part of Google and it's so tightly integrated, you'll notice a lot of similarities between setting up your YouTube channel and any other service inside Google. As a matter of fact, what I'm going to show you now is just setting up a YouTube channel from scratch, without any relationship to a Gmail address or having not done a Google My Business profile or anything along those lines. So one thing you'll need to remember about this process is you're going to have a separate email address or an email address specifically for your business if you want this YouTube channel to serve that purpose. So I just came into youtube.com and I'm going to hit sign in, and here's where I'm going to have the opportunity to create an account. And as you can see, I'm not just creating a YouTube account, I am creating a Google account. So I'm going to turn off Stay Signed In, and I'm going to click on Create an Account. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up an account for a podcast that I'm a part of, which is called the Custom Apparel Startups Podcast, that's caspodcast.com. And I'm going to do that because we don't have one, and I don't necessarily need a physical address, doesn't need to be part of the main business that it's attached to. It's really just kind of a separate service all by itself that I want to promote using YouTube. So I will use my my own name here, but honestly, if you wanted to set up a separate persona in order to do this, that's no problem whatsoever. And the email I have here is host@caspodcast.com. You do have to have this email set up in advance, or you can set up a new Gmail address. I'm going to create a password for it, which I'm not going to tell you guys what it is. And let's see if I got that right again. Okay. And my birthday, now I did make one big mistake when I signed up for another Google account, and I used the birthday for the business instead of my own. And it turns out it was too young for me to attach an AdWords account to. So, be as close to possible, or as close as you'd like for your regular birthday. And I'm just going to put in mine just in case anyone wants to send me a birthday card. And I am male. There we go. No homepage stuff. I have to prove I'm not a robot by typing in this image down here. And I agree. I'm in the United States. Next step. And now I'm just going to go and verify that email address because it will send me an email. That verification email should have come to the email address that you set up. So you can see I've got host@caspodcast.com. I did get it, and I clicked on it. So now I am ready to go back in and log into my browser and my YouTube account. So let me go to youtube.com, and I'm going to sign in. Now, I think I mentioned in talking about Google My Business how detailed or how paranoid Google is to make sure that you're a real person when you sign up for any of their services, and YouTube is no different. So for example, when I go to my channel, even though it has already sent me an email and I verified that, it still wants me to verify my identity before I start uploading videos or changing the channel settings. So when I click on verify my identity, I've got a choice. I can have them send me a text message or a voice call. It's completely up to you. But what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to type in my number. Hopefully I will remember to blur this out later, and I'll get a text. Okay, I got my code. That happens immediately, by the way. There was no time delay here. I'm going to hit verify. All right, and now I'm good to go. And you'll see this is how I'm going to appear. I'm going to appear as Mark Stevenson, but what I'm going to do is use a business name. Just want to make sure you saw that. There's no photo yet. I'll take care of that in a moment. Here's the name that I set up the account with. It must be a person's name. To use a business name, I'm going to click here. The business name is CAS Podcast. And I'm going to select a category. It's a product or a brand, company or organization, arts, entertainment, or sports. You know what? Let's go with entertainment. and I'm just going to agree and hit done. Now, next, what you're going to see is the blank setup screen for the My Channel spot. And this is where you're going to assign graphics, both kind of like a channel icon up in the left-hand corner while you see the blue box. You're going to replace that. And you're going to replace whatever's in that gray box there with your own graphic or with one of the canned graphics that they provide for you. So let's take a look at that first. And you can see you can upload photos. You can look at photos that you've already uploaded maybe to your Google Plus profile if you've done that. Or you can pick one of these generic images. So you can see this is what the page looks like. I kind of picked one of my episode images up here and just threw it in, and I used one of the generic graphics that YouTube had for channel artwork just as a placeholder. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go through and upload the actual artwork that I had designed. And the first one that I'm going to start with is the channel art. So I'm going to go up to the little icon up here, and it says Edit Channel Art. Okay, and I'm going to check out my photos. And this is the artwork that I've got. Now, this is actually was designed with YouTube artwork in mind, and it's 2560 by 1440 pixels. And you have to do it big with the crop in mind. Now, I have the advantage here of having a graphic artist that I've worked with for a long time, so I know that this is just going to look spectacular. You can see kind of, this is what it looks like on a desktop, this is what it would look like on a TV, and this is what it looks like in mobile. And I'm just going to hit select. And now you can see that says exactly what I wanted to say. It's custom apparel startups. Now, I don't want you to be discouraged by my use of fantastic artwork here, because I'm going to show you where you can get some great stuff done for very cheaply. So just bear with me for a moment while I finish this up. Now, the other thing we need to do is set up a channel icon, and that's up here on the left. I've just got one of my episode graphics here, but I want something more generic. When I click the pencil button, it asks me to edit this on Google+. That just goes to show you how closely tied in these two things are. And now I'm just going to do the same thing, select a photo from my computer, and I've already had this done right here, Custom Apparel Startups. Click Open. And this is going to give me the opportunity to rotate it left or right and to adjust the crop. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to grab the corner here, bring it up to the right size. There we go. That all looks good. And I'm going to set as my profile picture. And now not only is it my profile picture for Google+, I'm going to share it. But it is also going to be my profile picture. You see there it goes round. It's going to be my profile picture for the CAS podcast. Now, Google will tell you that it takes up to 10 or 20 minutes for this to update. I found it's usually faster. It doesn't matter, because remember, we're doing this for SEO purposes mostly. We just want to make sure it looks good for when people do find it. All right, so now I'm pretty much all set. The last thing that I'm going to walk you through is uploading your first video. All right, so I'm ready to upload my first video, and I already have this done. I had a little bit of a leg up because this is just this is a podcast. So what I did was I used a still image inside PowerPoint, and I just kind of recorded the podcast over the top of a still PowerPoint image. So what it is, it's basically a teaser for that episode of the CAS podcast. But it fulfills all the requirements. It's long enough, it sounds good, it's visually appealing, and I'm going to fill the description with nice keywords and my elevator pitch in order to help it get found online. But let's look at the nuts and bolts of uploading a video. So if you'll notice up in the corner, it says upload. And I can just drag and drop, and that's kind of what I'm going to do here if I can. Yep, there it is. This is part of a Made It embroidery business story, and I'm just going to drag it here. Now that it's uploading, you can see that the name of this video is Made It Embroidery Business Story, which I'm not crazy about that title, so I'm just going to optimize that a little bit. I'm going to call it CAS podcast, so I get a little name recognition. Embroidery business story with Jennifer Cox. And I'm using Jennifer's name because she is kind of famous in the industry. Just a little bit. She runs an organization called NNEP. So that's what I'm going to use for my description. I'm going to use elements from my elevator pitch, and I'm going to go back and do that later so I don't bore you with those details. But I'm going to use the keywords in the elevator pitch from your Google My Business profile or from your your business description. And I will just put in a couple of tagged keywords here. And that's going to be NNEP, which is the name of the group, embroidery business, embroidery business startup, and commercial embroidery machines. Okay, now one thing I will tell you about uploading one of these videos is that you definitely want to have the entire URL, if you already have a website, for that website in the first sentence, because this is what's going to show up in Google. So what I'm going to start with is the custom apparel startups podcast, http://www.caspodcast.com. And currently, while you're watching this, you have to put in the HTTP and the www, or YouTube won't see this as a link. I don't know when that's going to be fixed or changed, but that's the way it goes. So, as long as this is in there, as now I can start is dedicated to helping you start a custom t-shirt or embroidery business. And I'm going to go back, as I said, and fill in the rest of the description. You can do that at any time. But now you can see that this is ready to go. It says upload status. Your YouTube video will be live here. The basic information is here. It's a public video. It's not unlisted or private. I'm going to make sure I post it to my Google Plus profile. It's got the link. I'm going to remember to do a very long description here. I'd love to see at least 250 words here. The latest research on Google search and on YouTube search points to more text being better and more easily found. And that's kind of the object here for us on YouTube. Now you can go over here to advanced settings and make some changes as well. None of these are mandatory. I do like to leave comments on and turn ratings off. I also like to set my caption certification, let everybody know it's never been on TV. I don't care about age restrictions. And normally, I don't want people to be able to see how many folks have seen my video. I don't think it helps until you get up into the bajillions. So there you go. I'm just going to hit the publish button. And it gives me a link that I can now copy and paste. I can share it on any one of these social media profiles. I can embed it into a website if you've got one, or I can just email it to all of my friends and family so they can start clicking on that video. So now this is what our channel looks like. We've got some beautiful artwork up here. We've got a great channel icon. We've uploaded our first video, which you can see. It says when we do it, how many views there are. It's got that link. Remember, I mentioned how important it was to have that HTML link to your website or your Facebook page or whatever it is right here. But we can also just click on the title and we can take a listen to my cheesy intro music and watch the video. So I think that's all you really need to know about getting your YouTube channel set up for the purposes of getting found online for free.